Hello and welcome to another edition of Interview with DJ Nocturna. I have on the show here two very interesting people. They're from South Carolina. Uh, I'm speaking with Robin Wilson and Craig Anderson Snook, the alternative pop duo, the Yets. I love that, the Yets. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on the
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
another Hawaii connection. I got to say. I just did an interview just a while ago with someone that used to live here, and then today you guys just told me, oh, you got married here. You got
We
married
did.
in Hawaii. So why did you guys pick Hawaii?
Well, my best friend lives there.
Oh,
She moved actually from Atlanta to Hawaii, and so that was just we were thinking about where we wanted to do it, and we just said, hey, let's just go to Hawaii, and gosh, it was just so magical. We loved it there.
oh yeah, yeah. It seems like you guys are magical. So can you explain what you were feeling when you say magical?
It's just like in Hawaii, there was such a connection with nature.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, and then just the chain of events being there, things just, we met so many interesting people, and just, it was just so cool. It was just wonderful. We had the best time. It was like, when we left, I felt homesick
Oh,
for that.
so you felt a connection to Hawaii for sure.
Definitely. Right.
We did.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say another. I when I did the interview this morning, um, I mentioned hello, dark aloha. But the first time I ever said that on the show, and I'm gonna say it now again because it's something I wanted to say. And then when there was a connection with Hawaii, here it is again. So dark aloha, hello and dark aloha to you guys. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the Yets. How did you guys come up with that name, and how did you guys? You're obviously a couple, a wonderful couple, and I can really see the connection with the music, and it's such a beautiful. I know you have an EP out. Is out now, right? It's called
Correct.
self-titled The Yets. Yeah. So it's such a simple word, and it's easy to pronounce and everything. So and it's easy to remember.
We when we decided we were going to do the band, of course names come up, and we went back and forth, with what type of name, what type of thing, and Robin came up with the idea. It's a very spiritual, philosophical concept woven into a band name. I think a lot of people perceive life in terms of, yeah, this has not happened yet, whether it be something good
Oh,
that hasn't happened yet or something bad that hasn't happened yet.
mm,
And
get it now.
you can
Wow.
you can choose to live your life within the parameters of yets, waiting to experience either the good or the bad as opposed to living. And we're both very spiritual and philosophical driven people, and we choose to live in the moment every day of our life to the fullest, as opposed to the yets. And so we can look at the yets in a good sense or in a bad sense, but we're living our life moment by moment, just like we're doing with you right now. And so that's kind of where the yets came
Oh, wow. That's a very interesting explanation. Do you remember what I said to you guys when you first came on? I felt that.
from.
I felt it. Yeah, that's wonderful. So so this is I think there's how many tracks? Six. Is it six of them? Yes, six of them. So are all of these songs? Did you guys both write them together?
We did. Again,
Oh, well, he'll be up at 4 in the morning writing songs, and so I'll come in to the studio here, and he'll play me something that he's been working on. And a lot of the songs I'll just immediately hear a vocal part, or a word will come to me that I feel that, the song, and I'll build a song around that. So he writes the music, and then I'll write the vocal melody and the lyrics.
Oh, wow.
So it's, and then as we go through the process, we, build the song out from the basic, what he's come up with. Although sometimes I'll come in, it's not just basic. He's written this whole fantastic, orchestration. And, it blows me away. That's another thing that to me is magical, with some of the things that he writes. It's beautiful and I love
Yeah.
it. It's just
Yeah.
so exciting.
How did you guys connected?
This is a wonderful story. We were introduced. Robin was in Atlanta for quite some time, and was with another band and everything down there. And she moved back to South Carolina. We're both from South Carolina.
Mhm.
And when she moved back home, we were introduced to each other by a mutual friend who pointed out to us that, hey, you guys were both at the University of South Carolina at the same time. You were both playing in bands there at the same time. And we were like, yeah. And it turns out we knew of each other's bands. And in fact, we were going to school every day in the same building. I was on one floor, she was on another floor. And then many, many years later, we're introduced to each other through this mutual friend who also was at Carolina at the same time as us. And we met, and as they say, the rest is history.
Wow.
We just wonder, like, how many times were we in the same place? How many times did we pass? I mean, probably daily, but we never met.
And you've never seen each other in passing. Like, how some people say, yeah, I saw you many, many years ago and I liked you, but I didn't know if you liked me. So it wasn't like that. You just never saw each other.
We don't think so. I don't know.
No.
It was a long time ago. We look different.
No, God knows what he's doing. I would have messed everything up back then. So
Yeah. So do you think, what is your perception of that? I mean, when somebody, you guys were in the same place, but you just never met. And do you think it was just not the time at the time? It just wasn't, this is a time now and not back then?
Correct. 100%.
it is. And, at that level, we both believe, in spiritual elevation and evolution of the soul and things like that. And for us to be together and share what we share now, we had to be at a certain place. And
Yeah.
neither of us were at that place. And, our collective life experiences at this point are to a large degree what drives some of our music. So it all works out well.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting, right? When two souls meet, because you kind of look back and think like this was predestined, it was planned before you were even born. Like, okay, this is where we're gonna meet. This is how it's gonna take place. It's in the chart. It's in the stars, I
Right.
guess you could say.
Yes.
Wow, that's a very nice story. Thank you for sharing that. So,
Sure.
what are some of the inspiration, the musical inspiration? Because if somebody has not heard your music yet, how would you describe your music and what would the musical inspiration be? I kind of can guess myself, but I want you guys to say.
Well, a lot of the sound, I think, is and has been described as a 80s sort of sound, some of the music.
Yeah.
I can't really point to a direct inspiration musically. Yes, one of the songs, Letter, has been, likened to the Cocteau Twins, which I love them. But I wouldn't say that we draw on anything in particular when we're writing. It just happens.
It's hard to describe. We get asked that question a lot. And I think, for me to draw down on my influences as a writer, I have to go way back, because I'm primarily a guitarist, and my two great influences are Keith Richards and Jimmy Page, and then I go from there to David Gilmour, and from there and I play all types of music. So to have anyone, dead in the center of it, it's just a creative process. But we both love the 80s and early 90s music, without pigeonholing anything, but we pull a lot more influences in from outside of that area that you can see if you take the music apart and listen to it, you'll find little bits and pieces of this and that in there that I think have been pointed out to us that we didn't really think about being in there when we wrote the music.
And so this EP is called The Yets. It's a self-titled EP. Is out now and is released on Royal Terns Records. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep.
That's correct.
And so Craig, you play the guitar, right? That's your
Correct.
in the bag. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. And big shout out to Shameless Promotion PR for another great artist. I think she has amazing.
Shauna.
Shauna, yeah.
Shauna's wonderful.
So are you guys planning on coming back to Hawaii again?
Oh yeah, I don't know when,
Yes.
but definitely.
Yeah, as soon as we can.
So you were here like a year ago? Is that what you said?
Almost 2
About 2
years.
years
Yeah.
ago.
And that's the first time?
Yes.
Yes.
And you had no idea that this is where you wanted to go for your honeymoon. It wasn't like you planned it. So you had a friend and it's not like it's not like you're saying I always wanted to go to Hawaii.
Well, we kind of always wanted to go to Hawaii. I mean, who doesn't want to go to Hawaii? But then it seemed like, we wanted to have a ceremony that was intimate, and we didn't want to have like a million people there and all that. So
was it a beach ceremony?
No, it was actually in rainforest right in Volcano. And
oh wow.
so we just it was just a couple of people, and it was a guy married us that is a native Hawaiian, and played the ukulele and sang, and it was fantastic. And my friend does hula, and they did that, and it was awesome.
Oh wow.
It was beautiful. They called it the Cathedral of Pines, and they were cooked pines, and there was a huge rectangle, and it was almost like a structure inside of it in the rainforests, and it was completely amazing. And then we went to the volcano right after that.
Oh,
the top of the volcano to the ocean.
Wow, that's amazing. It sounds like I could just imagine it. I can just imagine the wedding. Yeah, a lot of people get married here, and they get married in the beach, but many people like to get married in the beach, but the rainforest, that's even better. That's
right. It was definitely not a traditional ceremony. It was very keeping with the Hawaiian culture. It wasn't like
that's very nice
beach wedding with cheesy, it was awesome. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Wow. And
we can't wait to come back.
How did you find the location?
Well, my friend lives right by where we got married. It was an art gallery.
Well, it's kind of like a small nature preserve art gallery. But when you say art gallery, it's indoors and outdoors. And they have a collection
Volcano Garden Arts was the name of the place. Yeah. It's really cool.
So, the tracks, I know you got 6 tracks here. Is there a particular theme that you were leaning towards and when you put the songs together?
Not really. They're all so different. I can't even remember the first song we wrote. I think it was Letter to a Boy.
I think we started with Letter.
Yeah. There really wasn't a theme at all. It just came out how it did.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, I've listened to them and I play them on the show. And yeah, they're just really, really. Now, so Robin, you were in a goth band in the past, right?
Right.
Yeah. You want to
Back,
talk a little bit about that?
no. Yeah, well, no, it's I was in a band with Tom Allewine, who is now in Candy Coffins.
Okay.
We were called BOA, which was first Bachelors of Art, and then we ended up becoming more goth sounding rock. And so it just turned into BOA. We played mainly, the Southeast around here in the 80s, wearing black.
Surprise.
Yeah, it was so much fun. We released a CD, and we released a record back then, and we recorded it in our house. So it wasn't the best quality, but it was just so exciting, in that time. A lot of bands, it was hard to get your own record because you had to pay for it yourself unless you were on a label. But yeah, I still have it. It sounds terrible, but it's wonderful.
But it gets airplay still.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to hear. I want to hear it.
It's good. It's good music.
And what
They
about
did a reunion show a few years ago, and it was fabulous. Packed house in Columbia, South Carolina, to see him play. It was great. Good band.
And what about you, Craig? Do you have any are you any goth background?
I don't have any goth background at all. I, no, I'm a cover band guy. This is really the first original music project that I've ever done in my life. I've been performing since I was like 13. I started playing music when I was in the third grade. I picked up the guitar when I was 12, started playing when I was 13, and then, off and on, but nothing like, what she did. My career path took me off in a different direction. And then when we met, I said, I put the cover bands down. I'm doing this thing with her. So, and with a voice like that, how can you say no?
I know, yeah. It's almost like you guys. You kind of did you know she had a great voice?
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean singing voice.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's great.
I did well. It's and I'll have to say this: my interest in her was not a musical interest. it was a romantic interest.
Yeah.
But
The way she looked at you was so
the
funny.
music helped. There was a common bond that led to the romantic interest. But once I found it, I went and I listened to her stuff, and I said, "Oh man, we're gonna do the music thing." And then
Yeah, because you guys had a musical connection anyway, because she was in the band, right? And you're a musician, right? You're both musicians, but the interest was more romantic, and part of the music is all connected somehow.
Yeah, we were together, for a couple of years before we did this, before the Yets. We kept saying, "Oh, we're going to do some music. Let's do some music," and then we never did it. Just life, we were busy, and then we just decided he started learning, the recording studio stuff and started writing, and it just took off. And I'm so glad. I mean, I hadn't done music in several years, and I felt like that was missing, so much from my life. And now it's just so fulfilling to be able to do it again, because I've been singing my whole life. And it was definitely something that I felt a hole in my soul, not doing what I loved. So this has just been awesome. And we've already started work on our full length, which hopefully will be out. I'm not sure when. We're still writing.
I was just about to ask you if there's a full length album coming.
Yes, definitely.
Do you guys have a title for it yet?
No. we just started it. But it's, it's going to be awesome. We've already written about 4 songs, and I love them. I cannot wait.
So 4 songs in addition to the 6 that's not released yet.
Well, yeah, it's right now. I think the project will just be a brand new full length. I don't think it will be anything with the EP.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we'll re-release. We may remaster and re-release something. We haven't really thought of all. We're too excited about all the new stuff.
Yeah. Is it similar to the EP musically?
Yeah, I think so. It's got a similar feel to it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, a lot of people when you ask us, you know, influencing, they ask me, who do you sound like? Who? And I'd say we sound like the Yets.
Well, that's a good answer.
And it's because you can find little bits and pieces of things, but it's really sounds
You
like
know,
us.
you know, when somebody asks down the road in a decade or so, they go, "Who's your influence?" They might just say the Yets,
That would be great.
right? So yeah, it's a it's a cycle, you know, right? Well, that's
Definitely.
wonderful. So I know you guys also have videos. You know, the videos are quite interesting. They're very
Thank you.
very, very nice choreography.
Thank you.
Like,
Yeah,
who coordinated the videos?
I do them
Oh, you did the
myself.
videos actually? Wow.
Yes.
Have you seen our actual CD, the whole CD fold out everything?
Well, it's the all the art on the
Yeah, I
CD,
did. I like
It's
the
on our website.
and I do all the art for us as well.
okay. So that is that an octopus?
Yes.
Okay. Is that
His
a
name is
Is
Bob.
that a name?
His name's Bob.
Bob. Is that a Hawaii octopus?
No, actually, that is it's a
He's from Chicago.
he is actually. It's a magic lantern slide, which was back in, gosh, I guess early, I don't know when they
Early
were.
1900s.
Yeah, early 1900s. They had these projectors that they would make these glass slides and project the image. And so I acquired a bunch of them from the Chicago Museum of Natural History.
Mhm.
And I use these slides. There's some of them are so bizarre. I used the slides and did the photography with the slides and created the artwork for the whole CD and our website and everything.
Yeah, and of course your website is um let me see here, I'll make sure I got it right. The Yets.com, and that's Yets YETS.com. I'm glad you guys have a website and also a Bandcamp page, and I'm sure you will continue to grow with more music.
Yes.
We are excited about it. It's you know, it was almost like, well, this is done, and we kind of looked at each other and went, okay, let's start again. We were ready, and the songs, they just keep coming. We have a lot of material, and we're very selective about what we choose to produce all the way through. And it's so the selections were careful. They were well thought out and
Yeah.
put together to support the stuff. But she does a fantastic job with the videos. We'll have one more video coming out for our last single we'll release off this Waterline before we move into the next project.
Oh, okay. All right.
We just released the last two. Letter to a Boy has done really, really well. It's a great video.
Yeah.
And we just released her video for Fades to Gray.
Yeah, that's a
Which
nice
also is doing very well.
Yeah, that's a nice one too. Well, you know, thank you so much for doing this interview. I mean, I'm looking forward to the new album when it comes out. And of course, this EP right now is your debut EP, The Yets, is out now. And if people want to check it out, they can go to your website or to your Bandcamp page, right? TheYets.com or your
Facebook.
Bandcamp page or your Facebook. Yeah, they can follow you there. You also have Instagram. And that's the Yets1.bandcamp.com. The Yets and then the number one, just one, and .bandcamp.com.
Thank you so much.
And T-shirts with Bob coming soon.
The octopus.
Everybody sees the Bob. I want a shirt. So Bob is going to be on shirts.
That is a very nice artwork, by the way.
Thank you.
She's fabulous.
Thank you so much.
You guys are all like really creative in very many ways and spiritual, which is great. Creative, spiritual, that's the best. Well, thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you
so much.
It was a pleasure.
I'm going to just pause this. Okay. Thank you and a dark aloha. Okay, one
Aloha. Mahalo.
Mahalo.